Thanks, Senator Blumenthal and Senator Van Hollen, for your leadership, and thank you all from the panel for being part of this. To follow up on what you were just discussing, I've been a crypto skeptic for quite a while on the record in my votes. And I was asked by a reporter in the hallway, how much money have you taken from this industry? And I said, proudly, nothing. And she said, you're wrong. Take a look. It turned out somehow or another, some money came in from the gentleman you mentioned earlier into my campaign fund, which I promptly divested. They have so much money they can throw it at me, for goodness sakes, which is a total waste. So, Mr. Stark, I know the CFTC. I've worked with them for decades. They're doing a great job when it comes to the futures industry in Chicago, but it is a small agency in comparison to SEC. Do you know the number of employees at each?
I believe it's 556 or so at the CFTC, and the SEC is around 4,000. They've just lost about 18% of their workforce, including mostly their senior people.
So there's a dramatic difference in the personnel numbers at each of these two agencies, but there's also a dramatic difference in how they raise the funds to sustain their agency. Would you like to say what that is?
Absolutely. When it comes to the SEC, they're funded by Congress itself. They don't collect their monies. You know, as far as the CFTC goes, it's different. The CFTC doesn't even have an examination, audit, or inspection function. So they've got 3 regional offices. The SEC has, I think, 12 or 13.
So this transferring the authority to supervise and regulate to a much smaller agency with an annual appropriation, which Congress will decide after they've gone through election cycles with their money being spread around, is pretty obvious to me. I might also say to you that the prospective Attorney General, the new one we're considering, Mr. Blanche, testified before the Judiciary Committee about his own circumstance. Last year, he had over $150,000 in crypto investments. He felt that he had to get rid of that. How did he divest himself? Do you know, Ms. Cantor?
I know that he divested, but I know that before he divested, he actually was participating in a policy that limited the scope of the criminal investigations that they would be doing in crypto.
For the record, the divestment was he transferred $150,000 worth of crypto investments to his children, and then proceeded to decimate the Department of Justice effort to regulate this particular industry. So some of us have serious questions about whether this man could possibly be a straight player when it comes to the Attorney General. I look at this situation and I say to myself, I believe in my lifetime crypto will crash. I believe that will happen. I introduced an amendment in the Senate Agriculture Committee which said if it happens, the American taxpayers are not going to bail them out. If they're not playing by the rules, if they don't pay for insurance, if they don't have serious regulation, the American taxpayers should not bail them out. There was a party line roll call in the Agriculture Committee. The second thing I would loathe to consider as we consider the future of Social Security, honest to God, if Social Security ends up with their trust fund diverted into crypto investments which crashed and burned, millions, 70 million Americans will pay a price that is just too heavy to pay. So I think those are basics. Thank you to all your witnesses, and I appreciate your testimony.